प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. We are reading from Krishna book, chapter 67, entitled The Deliverance of Dvivida Gorilla. So, this is a very special topic which we are reading today. So, let's begin. And I will read first two paragraphs. Then, Prashant Prabhu, you can read next two paragraphs. And meanwhile, you can request Dhruv Prabhu to join. While Shukdev Goswami continued to speak on the transcendental pastimes of and characteristics of Lord Krishna, King Parikshit, upon hearing him, became more and more enthusiastic and wanted to hear further. Shukdev Goswami next narrated the story of Dvivida gorilla, who was killed by Lord Balarāma. This gorilla was a great friend of Banasur or Narkasur, who was killed by Krishna in connection with his kidnapping 16,000 princes from all over the world. Dvida was the minister of King Sugriv. His brother Mainda was also a very powerful gorilla king. When Dvida gorilla heard the story of his friend Bhaumasurus being killed by Lord Krishna, he planned to create mischief throughout the country in order to avenge the death of Bhaumasura. His first business was to set fires in villages, towns, and industrial and mining places, as well as residential quarters of the mercantile men who were busy dairy farming and protecting cows. Sometimes he would uproot a big mountain and tear it to pieces. In this way, he created great disturbances all over the country, especially in the province of Katwar. The city of Dwarika was situated in this Katwar province, and because Lord Krishna used to live in the city, Vivida specifically made it his target of disturbance. So, Vivida was best friend of Bhaumasura, Bhaumasur or Narkasur, whom Krishna killed because he kidnapped 16,108 queens. I mean, 16,000 princes from all over the world. And to take revenge of his friend's death, Dvivida Gorilla started doing all kinds of mischievous activities throughout the Dwarika city and near Dwarka. Yes. Prashant Prabhu, please read. And after Prashant Prabhu, Aditya Prabhu can read.
Hare Krishna. Davida was as powerful as 10,000 elephants. Sometimes he would go to the seashore and with his powerful hands he would create so much disturbance in the sea that he would overflood the neighboring cities and villages. Often he would go to the her- hermitages of great saintly persons and sages and cause a great disturbance by smashing their beautiful gardens and orchards. Not only did he create disturbances in that way, but sometimes he would pass urine and stool on their sacred sacrificial arena. He would thus pollute the whole atmosphere. He also kidnapped both men and women, taking them away from their residential places to the caves of the mountains, putting them within the caves. He would close the entrance with large chunks of stone, like the Bringis insect, which arrests and carries away many flies and other insects and puts them within the holes of the trees where he lives. He thus regularly defied the law and order of the country. Not only that, but he would sometimes pollute the female members of many aristocratic families by forcibly raping them. While creating such great disturbance all over the country, sometimes he heard very sweet musical sound from the Raiva, Revetaka mountain, and so he entered that mountainous region. There he saw that Lord Balram was present in the midst of many beautiful young girls, enjoying their company. While engaged in singing and dancing, he became captivated by the beautiful features of Lord Balram's body, each and every part of which was very beautiful decorated as he was with a garland of lotus flowers. Similarly, all the young girls present, dressed and garlanded with flowers, exhibited much beauty. Lord Balram seemed to be fully intoxicated and drinking the Varuni beverage, and his eyes appeared to be rolling in a drunken state. Lord Balram appeared just like the king of the elephants in the midst of many she elephants.
Yes, thank you. So here comes Balramji. While Dvida was creating so many disturbances, he heard sweet musical sounds coming from Raivatak mountain, where Balramji was enjoying with his uh, gopi friends. And seeing Balramji, now we'll see what happens further once Dvida understands that he is the same personality who was there in Ramayana, Lakshman, coming as Balram. Yes. Aditya Bro, please read next two paragraphs.
This gorilla by the name Dveda would climb up on the trees and jump from one branch to another. Sometimes he would jerk the branches, creating a particular type of sound, kila kila, so that Lord Balarāma was greatly distracted from the pleasing atmosphere. Sometimes Dveda would come before the woman and exhibit different types of caricatures. By nature, young women are apt to enjoy everything with laughter and joking, and when the gorilla came before them, they did not take him seriously, but simply laughed at him. However, the gorilla was so rude that even in the presence of Balarama, he began to show the lower part of his body to the woman, and sometimes he would come forward to show his teeth while moving his eyebrows. He disrespected women even in the presence of Balarama. Lord Balaram's name suggests that he is not only very powerful, but that he takes pleasure in exhibiting extraordinary strength. So he took a stone and threw it at Dvida. The gorilla, however, artfully avoided being struck by the stone. In order to insult Balarama, the gorilla took away the earthen pot in which the Varuni was kept. Dvida, being thus intoxicated with his limited strength, began to tear off all the valuable clothes worn by Balaram and the accompanying young girls. He was so puffed up that he thought that Balarama could not do anything to chastise him, and he continued to offend Balaramji and his companions. When Lord
Yes.
Balarama personally
So
saw
here we can see that how Dvida, his strength went into his head और वो इतना उस शक्ति से मदनमत्त हो गया कि देखो उसने क्या किया फिर बलराम जी का वारुणी चुरा लिया और बलराम जी और उनकी जो गोपिया फ्रेंड्स थी उनके कपड़े फाड़ने शुरू कर दिए और उनके साथ बदतमीजी करने लगा क्योंकि वो अहंकारी बन गया था उसको लगा कि बलराम जी क्या कर लेंगे और इसलिए फिर वो बलराम जी और उनके जो पार्षद थे उनके प्रति अपराध करता चला गया यस रीड वन मोर पैराग्राफ आदित्य प्रभु Okay, I think he's busy. Dhruv Prabhu, please read next two paragraphs.
Hare Krishna. When Lord Balaram personally saw the disturbance created by the gorilla and heard that he had already performed many mischievous activities all over the country, he became very angry and decided to kill him. Immediately, he took his club and in his hand. The gorilla could understand that now. Uh, Gorilla could understand that now Balram was going to attack him. In order to counteract Balram, he immediately uprooted a big oak tree, and with great force he came and struck at Lord Balram's head. Lord Balram, however, immediately caught hold of the big tree and remained undisturbed, just like a great mountain. To retaliate, he took his club by the name of Sunanda and began to hit the gorilla with it. The gorilla's head was severely injured. Currents of blood flowed from his head with great force, but the stream of blood enhanced his beauty like stream of liquid manganese coming out of the great mountain. The striking of Balram's club did not even slightly disturb him. On the contrary, immediately uprooted another big oak tree, and after clipping off all its leaves, he began to strike Balram's head with it. But Balram, with the help of his club, tore the tree to pieces. Since Gorilla was very angry, he took another tree in his hands and began to strike Lord Balram's body. Again, Lord Balram tore the tree to pieces of stone like wait, tore the tree to the pieces and fighting continued. Each time the gorilla would bring out a big tree to strike Balram. Lord Balram would tear the tree to pieces by striking off his club. The gorilla Dvivida would clutch another tree from another direction and again attack Balram in the same way. As a result of this continuing fighting, the forest became treeless, where no more trees were available. Dvivida took help from hills and threw large pieces of stone, like rainfall, upon the body of Balram. Lord Balram also, in great sporting mood, began to smash those big pieces of stone into mere pebbles. The gorilla, being bereft of all trees and stone slabs, now stood before him and waved his strong fists. Then, with great force, he began to beat the chest of Lord Balram with his fists. This time, Lord Balram became most angry. Since the gorilla was striking with his hand, he would not strike him back with his own weapon, the club or plow. Simply with his fist, he began to strike the collarbone of the gorilla. This striking proved to be fatal to Divivida, who immediately vomited blood and fell unconscious upon the ground. When the gorilla fell, it appeared that his and force tottered.
Shri Balram ji ki jai. So just by one punch in the collarbone of gorilla, gorilla was dead and delivered. And he was so heavy. When he fell on the ground, it appeared like the hills and forests tottered. They all got shaken up. Yes. Read one more paragraph.
After this horrible incident, all the Siddhas, great sages, and saintly persons from the upper planetary system began to shower flowers on the person of Lord Balram, and sound glorifying the supremacy of Lord Balram were vibrated, all of them being to chant, All glories to Lord Balram. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto your lotus feet. By your killing this great demon, Divivida, you have initiated an auspicious era for the world. All such jubilant sound of victory were heard from outer space. After killing the great demon Divivida and being worshipped by a shower of flowers and glorious sound of victory, Balram returned to his capital city Dwarka. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purport of second volume, 12th chapter of Krishna, Deliverance of Dvivida Gorilla.
Yes. So here, the past life of Dvida is not mentioned, but Prabhupada mentions in many places that previously this Dvida, he was associate of Lord Ramchandra, and he and his brother Mahinda. Who are they? They are Ashwini Kumaras in Swargaloka, right? And they come as Mahinda and Dvida. So Mahinda was a devotee. Dvida was also a devotee. He was minister, and he fought against Ravana, and he was assisting Hanumanji. He was assisting Angad. He was serving Sugriv as his minister. But he had some problem with Lakshmanji. He had envy, slight envy towards Lakshmanji. And later, when he got into bad association with Bhaumasura, Banasura, Narakasura, that envy got into wild forest fire. And when he saw Balramji enjoying with his gopi friends, that forest fire went out of control. Just like in Los Angeles, we saw how that forest fire devoured everything and destroyed so many trees and houses and property. So he could not control his envy towards Balramji, and that's how he started misbehaving with Balramji and his companions. So Balramji is the Adi Guru. He knows everything. Who is this Veda? Who was he previously? He knew very well why he is acting like that. And to show mercy upon him, Balramji delivered him and sent him back home, back to Godhead. So after killing this great demon, Dvida, he was showered flowers by the heavenly denizens. And finally, Balram returned to city Dwarka. So this is the power of bad association. If we are having bad association, it will lead to our destruction in spiritual life. So we should be very careful. Let's go to the next chapter. We have some time. Very nice chapter is coming now. The marriage of Samba. Who is Samba? Samba is the son of Jamvati. उसका नाम सांबा उसलिए पड़ा है सांब अम्बा मतलब क्या मदर सांबा मीन्स हु इज ऑलवेज विद द मदर तो सांबा वो आएगा उसका मीनिंग नीचे दिया है प्रभुपाद ने he was the first child of Jamvati and Lord Krishna, so he was always attached to his mother, so that's why he got the name Samba. Okay, so I will read first paragraph and then devotees can read in turn. Duryodhana, the son of Dhritarashtra, had a marriageable daughter by the name Lakshmana. She was very highly qualified girl of the Kuru dynasty, and many princes wanted to marry her. In such cases, the Swayamvar ceremony is held so that the girl may select her husband according to her own choice. In Lakshmana's Swayamvar assembly, when the girl was to select her husband, Samba appeared. He was the son of Krishna by Jamvati, one of the chief wives of Lord Krishna. The son Samba is so named because he was very bad child, and he always lived close to his mother. The name Samba indicates a son who is very much his mother's pet. Amba means mother, and Sa means with. So this special name was given to him because he always remained with his mother. He was also known as Jambavati Sutta for the same reason. As previously explained, all the sons of Krishna were as qualified as their great father, Lord Krishna. Samba wanted the daughter of Duryodhana Lakshmana, although she was not inclined to have him. Therefore, Samba kidnapped Lakshmana by force, by force, from the Swayamvar assembly. Because Samba took Lakshmana away from the assembly by force, all the members of Kuru dynasty, namely Dhritarashtra, Bhishma, Vidura, Ujahan, and Arjuna, thought it an insult to their family tradition that the boy Samba could possibly have kidnapped their daughter. All of them knew that Lakshmana was not at all inclined to select him as a husband from that, and that she was not given the chance to select her own husband. Instead, she was forcibly taken away by this boy. Therefore, they decided that he must be punished. They unanimously declared that he was most impudent and that he degraded the Kuru family tradition. Therefore, all of them, Under the council of elderly members of Kuru family decided to arrest the boy but not kill him. They concluded that the girl could not be married to any boy other than Samba, since she had already been touched by him. According to Vedic system, once being used by some boy, a girl cannot be married or given to any other boy. Nor would anyone agree to marry a girl who had already associated with another boy. The elderly member of family, such as Bhishma, wanted to arrest him. All the members of Kuru dynasty, especially the great fighters, joined together just to teach him a good lesson. And Karna was made the commander in chief for this small battle. So here we see now there is a big fight going to happen between Kurus and Yadavas, Yadus and Kurus. Why? Because Samba, the son of Jamvati and Krishna, wanted to have the hand of mm, Lakshmana in marriage, and he kidnapped forcefully Lakshmana from the Swayamvar ceremony. And the Kuru members, Duryodhana and everyone, felt offended, and they wanted to teach this boy a very good lesson. So they wanted to arrest him, and whom they made Karna as the commander in chief for this small battle. Okay, let's see what happens further. Yes, Prashant Prabhu, please read next two paragraphs, and after Prashant Prabhu, Aditya Prabhu can read.
While the plan was being made to arrest Samba, the Kurus concealed amongst themselves that upon his arrest, the members of Yadu dynasty would be very angry with them. There was every possibility of the Yadus accepting the challenge and fighting with them. But they also thought, if they come here to fight with us, what could they do? The members of the Yadu dynasty cannot equal the members of the Kuru dynasty because the king of the Kuru dynasty are the emperors, whereas the kings of the Yadu dynasty are able to enjoy their landed property. The Kurus thought if they come here to challenge us because their son was arrested, he will nevertheless accept the fight. All of us will teach them a lesson so that automatically they will become subdued under pressure, as the sense of subdued by the mystic yoga process pranayam. In the mechanical system of mystic yoga, the airs within the body are controlled and the senses are subdued and choked from being engaged in anything other than meditation upon Lord Vishnu. After consultation and after receiving permission from the elderly members of the Kuru dynasty, such as Bhishma and Dhritarashtra, six great warriors Karna, Shala, Bhurishrava, Yajnaketu, and Duryodhan, the father of the girl, all Maharathis, and guided by the great fighter Bhishmadev, attempted to arrest the boy Shambha. There are different grades of fighters, including Maharathis, Ekarathi, and Rathi, classified according to their fighting capacity. These Maharathis could fight alone with many thousands of men, all of them combined together to arrest Samba. Samba was also a Maharathi, but he was alone and had to fight with the six another Maharathis. Still, he was not deterred when he saw all the great fighters of the Kuru dynasty coming up behind him to arrest him.
दो मिनट। तो यहाँ पे बता रहे हैं कि सांबा भी क्या थे, महारथी थे। महारथी अर्थात जो एक साथ 1,000 योद्धाओं के साथ लड़ सकता है। लेकिन उसके ऊपर 6-7 महारथियों ने आक्रमण कर दिया। फिर भी उनका वो अपने इरादों में टस से मस नहीं हुए, और उन्होंने जबरदस्त उन सभी के साथ में युद्ध किया। अभिमन्यु के साथ भी ऐसा ही हुआ था, राइट। महाभारत के युद्ध में हम देखेंगे कि कैसे अभिमन्यु के ऊपर एक साथ 6-7 महारथी आक्रमण कर देते हैं। कर्ण रहता है उसमें, और दुर्योधन रहता है, और भी लोग रहते हैं। तो लेकिन अभिमन्यु फिर भी जबरदस्त उनके साथ युद्ध करते हैं। और इसीलिए जब भी महाभारत की कहानी के बारे में हम लोग सुनते हैं, पढ़ते हैं, बोलते हैं, तो अभिमन्यु का जिक्र हमेशा आता है। चाहे भले ही वो उनसे जीत ना पाए, लेकिन उन्होंने अपना पूरा 100% दिया भगवान के कार्य में, इसलिए उनका गुणगान हमेशा होता है। तो सांबा के बारे में बता रहे हैं कि सांबा ये भगवान की पुत्र है, और ये भी महारथी है, और ये भी अपने अपने कार्य में पीछे नहीं हटे, और उन्होंने जम करके सभी के साथ लड़ाई की। और फाइनली क्या हुआ, कुरु डायनेस्टी कमिंग अप बिहाइंड हिम टू अरेस्ट हिम। और फिर वो देख लिए कि वो अभी मैं इनसे जीत नहीं सकता। तो देखते हैं उसके बाद क्या होता है। यस। नेक्स्ट, आदित्य प्रभु प्लीज रीड, if you are able to read, and then Dhruv Prabhu can read.
Alone, alone he turned towards them and took his nice bow, posing exactly as a lion stand adamant in the face of other animals. Karna was leading the party and he challenged Samba. Why are you fleeing? Just stand and we shall teach you a lesson. When challenged by another Kshatriya to stand and fight, a Kshatriya cannot go away, he must fight. Therefore, as soon as Samba accepted the challenge and stood alone before them, he was overpowered by showers of arrows thrown by all the great warriors. As a As a lion is never afraid of being chased by many wolves and jackals, similarly Samba, the glorious son of Yadu dynasty, endowed with inconceivable potencies as the son of Lord Krishna, became very angry at the warriors of the Kuru dynasty for improperly using arrows against him. He fought with them with great talent. First of all, he struck each of the six charioteers with six separate arrows. Another four arrows were used to kill the charioteers' horses, four on each chariot. One arrow was used to kill the driver, and one arrow was used for Karna as well as other celebrated fighters. While Samba was so diligently fighting alone with the six great in the midst of with six great warriors, they all appreciated the inconceivable potency of the boy. Even in the midst of fighting, they admitted frankly that this boy Samba was wonderful. But the fighting was conducted in the Kshatriya spirit, so all together, although it was improper, they obliged Samba to get down from his chariot, now broken to pieces. Of the six warriors, four took care to kill Sam's horses, and one of them managed to cut the string of Samba's bow so that he could no longer fight with them. In this way, with great difficulty and after a severe fight, Samba was left bereft of his chariot and they were able to arrest him. Thus the warriors of Kuru dynasty accepted their great victory and took their daughter Lakshmana away from him. Thereafter they entered the city of Hastinapura in great triumph. The
Yes,
great
thank you.
sage Narada immediately carried.
So here it is mentioned that how the Kuru people, by cheating and all the duplicitous means, they defeated Samba, and same thing they did in Mahabharata also. The difference between Abhimanyu and Samba is that Samba is direct son of Krishna, and Abhimanyu is son of Arjuna. So एक शक्ति तत्व है, एक जीव तत्व है। तो इसलिए टू किल सांबा इज इम्पॉसिबल, बिकॉज वो भगवान का बेटा है। और जो अभिमन्यु है, ही इज द सन ऑफ अर्जुना, ही इज द सन ऑफ सुभद्रा एंड अर्जुना। सो सो दैट्स व्हाई दे कुड नॉट किल सांबा, बट दे कुड किल अभिमन्यु फॉर बिकॉज एंड अभिमन्यु का भी लंबा स्टोरी है। इफ यू रीड महाभारत, उसमें उनका भी हिस्ट्री बताया गया है। ही हैड अ कर्स previously that once you become of the age 16 years, you have to come back to heavenly planets. So that's how he was supposed to go back at that particular time. And plus, he is a Jeev Tattva. So that's how he had to undergo death. But Samba is direct part and parcel of Krishna. So he could not be killed. और भी इसके कुछ variations है. And second thing, they did not plan to kill him. They only wanted to teach him good lesson so that the daughter Lakshmana can get married with Samba afterwards. But there are many similarities between the Kurus attacking and defeating Samba and Kurus attacking and defeating Abhimanyu. That's what I was trying to explain. So then finally they managed to arrest Samba and brought him back to Hastinapur in great victory. Okay, please read ahead. Dhruv Prabhu, next two paragraphs.
The great says Narada.
Sri Krishna. The great sage Narada immediately carried the news to the Yadu dynasty that Samba was arrested and told them to the whole story. The members of the Yadu dynasty become very angry at the Sambas being arrested and improperly. So by six warrior, now with the permission of the head of the Yadu dynasty's king, Ugrasen, they prepared to attack the capital city of Kuru dynasty. Although Lord Balram knew very well that by slight provocation people are prepared to fight with another in the age of Kali, he did not like the idea that the two great dynasties, the Guru dynasty and the Yadu dynasty, would fight among themselves, even though they were influenced by Kali Yuga. Instead of fighting with them, he wisely thought, let me go there and see the situation, and let me try to see if the fight I can settle by mutual understanding. Balram's idea was that if the Kuru dynasty could be induced to release Samba along with his wife Lakshmana, then the fight could be avoided. He therefore immediately arranged for a nice chariot to go to the Hastinapur, accompanied by learned priests and brahmanas, as well as some of the elderly members of the Yadu dynasty. He was confident that members of Kuru dynasty would agree to marriage and avoid fighting amongst themselves. As Lord Balaram proceeded toward Hastinapur in this chariot, accompanied by learned Brahmana and the elderly member of Yadu dynasty, he looked like the moon shining in the clear sky amongst the glittering stars. When Lord Balaram reached the precincts of the city of Hastinapur, he did not enter but stationed himself in the camp outside the city in small garden house. Then he asked Uddhava to see the leader of Kuru dynasty and inquire from them whether they wanted to fight with the dynasty or to make settlement. Uddhava went to see the leader of Kuru dynasty and he met all the important members, including Bhishma Dev, Dhritarashtra, Dronacharya, Bali, Duryodhan, Bahalika. After offering them due respect, he informed them that Lord Balram had already arrived at the garden outside the city door.
Yes. One more reason why Balramji wanted to have peaceful settlement with Kuru dynasty is he is the guru of Duryodhan. दुर्योधन को गदा चलाना और फाइट मल्ल युद्ध सब बलराम जी ने सिखाया है. उसका भी लंबा पास्ट टाइम है. So why he chose to become guru of Duryodhan? To add to the rasa in the pastimes of Krishna Balram, in the pastimes of Dwarika, in the pastimes of Hastinapur. उसमें थोड़ा रस चाहिए ना, रस चाहिए, रस. अभी सभी लोग पांडवों के साइड में हो जाएंगे तो दुर्योधन के साइड से कौन रहेगा? तभी तो मजा आएगा. When there will be fight between Bhima and Duryodhana. So Bhima is trained from Dronacharya. Duryodhana is trained from uh, Balramji. And Bhima is also trained from Parshuram. So then there will be a very good fight. So it will be a good match. So it will give more pleasure to Krishna. So that's how sometimes Balramji act in a different way. in order to increase the mellows of ecstasy. So he's also a guru of um, Duryodhana. Also, he wanted to marry Subhadra to Duryodhana because Duryodhana was his favorite student. ये सब दिया है कृष्णा बुक में. When you read Bhagavatam, you will come to know. And then finally, Subhadra gets married with Arjuna. So that's why he never wanted to spoil the good relation with Duryodhan. And he thought that since now we are relatives, Samba has married with Lakshmana. So why to take it, into big fight? Let's go and make a happy settlement. So that's how he decided. He discussed with Uddhav, and after consulting with the great leaders, finally he sent Uddhava first ahead, and and then they came outside Hastinapur and met with Balramji. Now what happens after they come and see Balram? We'll discuss tomorrow. Amazing. The, the the episode will go into very amazing direction now, and we'll see tomorrow what happens. How Balramji welcomes them and how the pastime goes ahead. Okay. Any questions from anyone? Aditya Prabhu, Prashant Prabhu, Dhruv Prabhu?